Okay, dear students, now in this class we are going to discuss about another example for drawing the network diagram. Now on the screen you will see the problem 2, that is activity predecessor. So in the previous class we discussed about what is an activity and what is a predecessor. Activity is something that is to be completed in a one particular project, and that must be completed in a sequential order, and as which order the activity is to be completed is guided by the predecessor. Means predecessor is the activity to be completed before the actual activity to be completed. So now on the problem you will see there is no predecessor for A. So now here you will see there is no predecessor for A, and for B no predecessor, and for C also no predecessor. So what does we can understand from this particular thing? So no predecessors for A, B, C. What does it implies? There is A, B, C. All these three are the initiating activities. Now let's draw these three activities initiated at one particular event. So event must be indicated in circle and activity must be indicated in a forward direction arrow. Now event is 0, circle is nothing but a event, and now we have to draw three different activities. Okay, and there is no predecessor for A, B, C. So for let's write A, B and C. So for all these three different activities there is no predecessor. And then for activity D, A is the predecessor. Now for D, A is the predecessor. Before writing the activity D, we should see that A is predecessor for that. Now already we have seen A here. So now I think we can write a D from here. That is D. Now next for activity E, B is the predecessor. Say here, look at here, B. For activity B, for activity E, B is the predecessor. For the activity B, no, E is the predecessor. For activity E, B is the predecessor. For activity E, B is the predecessor. I think you can see here. And then for activity F also B is the predecessor. So for writing F also B is the predecessor. Let's say we can write a F here in this way. Now for G, C is the predecessor. Or again for writing G, we should see that there won't be any curves in the network, as we know. So let's write a straight line like this for writing G. Okay, G. So for activity G, C is the predecessor. This is fine. Now for activity H, D is the predecessor. Again look at here, D is the predecessor. We should write down H here. So for writing H, D must be the predecessor, we ensured. And then for I, E is the predecessor. For writing I, okay, for writing I, what is the predecessor? E is the predecessor. So for I, E is the predecessor. Next, for J, HI is the predecessor. Now let's think about it. For writing J, H and I must be joined together. Now look at here. For writing the activity J, H and I must be joined together. So now H and I must be joined together. So before while writing E here, E and H both are separated. So now what we will do is, for writing E, for writing I, what we do is we join this I directly to H. Let's join in this way. Okay, this is I. So what happened with this is, we see that for I, what is the predecessor? E is the predecessor. So for I, A, E has become predecessor. That is fine. And then for J, H and I must be joined together. That is the reason why we have joined this I with the H. And then for activity K, F and G is the predecessor. So look at here, for writing further activity, that is K, what is the predecessor? F and G jointly become predecessor. Now what we'll do is, we will join this G to F.